E agora o Aspas já garantindo 2 abates logo de começo, hein? Só que o Xenon já foi eliminado. O Aspas de novo.
He's hit a couple, but Net's gonna be there. That's 4 for Net.
Cloud9, they get the first map. When I'm here with Amy, and the first thing that I want to ask you here is, Amy, you talked about struggling with the post plans and struggling with the pistols after that last match that you had. So how do you work in these past couple of days to make sure that is fixed? And how do you feel about going into the second map?
We just watched the whole game back at first against G2. We actually thought we played bad, and then we watched it back and we were like, oh, we didn't actually play that bad, just our post plans were really poor. So we really made an effort to fix our post plans this week. And pistols, there's a lot of RNG, but we put focus into new pistols as well.
And really quick, was it hard to adapt to the composition change from Furia, or from MIBR, I'm sorry?
No, because they just took NRG's comp pretty much. So we played it instead of week 1, so we knew what we needed to do differently.
All right, thank you so much. Good luck.
Oh, it's great to get that insight. Welcome back, everyone. We're here with TCK10, a Brazilian streamer from Cloud9, and we got to ask you first thing here, of course. Is it hard for you to root for Cloud9 when they're playing your brethren?
It's a little bit tough. I mean, I'm friends with Aspas, so it's really sad to me to see him go like so early in the tournament. But yeah, it's gonna be.
You're already calling the loss. You know? You're already calling the loss on him.
Yeah, he's like, yo, they're already gone.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no. Like seeing this first map already tells me everything I need to know. You see, like Oxy. Yeah, with a big haze gap on Aspas, I mean, that's the only one that can do it, right? So, yeah.
Hey, it's a true Cloud9 supporter all the way. I love the chain, by the way. I have to ask you, you know,
you like it?
Yeah, I love it, dude. I love it. It suits you very well. I have to ask you, you've been around with Cloud9 for quite a bit of time, and you know, in the off season there was a ton of crazy stuff going on, roster changes. What was that like, not knowing who the hell is on our roster, you know, and then you see them perform the way they are?
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, I went to sleep and we would wake up the next day like, oh, new roster, nice. Let's see how it goes. But now we're complete, like we're killing it, and we're going to this second map with the whole confidence of our EGL Meech and our probably one of the best duelists in the world, obviously. So,
I can see you never doubted. Yeah, roster changes, never doubted.
Yeah.
They got this all along. What's your projection for the rest of the season? How do you think they stack up internationally as well?
I mean, I think Cloud9 is doing good. It's doing pretty good right now. I think with the tournament happen, we only get better with our roster, because our roster is pretty like new. They are like together for about 2 months now. So I think if we played more like games, like difficult games like this one, we just like grow our friendship inside the tournament. You know, we grow our resilience to play even better. Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, it's great to hear. I love the confidence. Where can people find you? Where can they follow you?
Oh, they can follow me at my Twitch, twitch.tv/TCK10. Yeah.
That's right. For all the trash talk against Aspas and all the hype talk and glazing for Cloud9, make sure to follow all the action. Thank you so much for joining us for a quick chat. And
Thank
we're
you so
now
much
heading
for
over
having me.
to
Appreciate
learn what the coach of MIBR has to say ahead of Map 2.
I'm here, Fraud, ahead of Map 2, and Fraud, I want to know, you changed the composition here. It doesn't really go your way. Now you're on the verge of elimination. What are you telling your team to make sure that everybody stays locked in for that second map?
Just to keep focused on what we practice. We felt like, you know, a lot of credit to them. They executed and played very well, but we felt like we had a really good read on what they were doing. We just were failing on our execution part. So we just got to go back to some of the basics on what we do in practice, which is just focus on the execution based on the reads that we have. And, you know, hope that, you know, we have a better half, you know, get us a pissed around, can do some of these rounds that, you know, maybe 5v3s and stuff like that. But other than that, I think that we are very confident. Like I said, practice well, have good reads, and we just got to execute.
It's always the little things, right? Thank you so much.
He always looks ever so slightly concerned.
Yeah, I
See
mean,
that?
for good reason.
That was both pistols, both bonuses.
Yeah.
Like
That said, though, I still feel like we've seen a lot more signs of life from them this time
Yeah,
around.
I mean, that's actually a positive, what I just said, because you can't win a game like that. The fact that they even got any rounds at that point is like, okay. They played well individually, but you can't dig yourself those holes. Both of those pistols, the opening pistol, was it 2v5? Oh my God, it's so brutal.
It's extremely difficult, but I gotta, this guy on the screen, this was such a breakout performance from Vic. I mean, he hasn't really had a moment where he's had an impact like this at 3.9 KDA in the offseason. We weren't seeing any of this. 44.2 headshot percentage. This is the Vic that we know from Tier 2. I got to play against this guy a ton in scrims. He was destroying me. And I'm happy to finally see it translate on the VCT stage.
I love that the majority of the Cloud9 roster, like in week 1, Mitch had a really good game as well, and then Zeppo obviously popping off. Now it's Vic's time to shine. You see a lot of great pieces there.
And that's a great sign for Cloud9. You know, Mitch coming in as an in-game leader, slowly, one by one, the dominoes are falling. Now everyone is getting activated on this team. Just bodes good things moving forward.
And they're just one map away from keeping themselves alive in our kickoff tournament. We're heading into a quick break, and we'll be back with map number 2 right after this.
Welcome back to the second elimination match. We're about to head into map 2 on Abyss between Cloud9 and MIBR, and MIBR need to come out strong here. They need to come out swinging. Fraud said they were easily able to identify, a few things, and that C9, credit to them, they were just playing well, but MIBR now needs to step up to that.
I have to agree with Fraud for sure. It's been a lot of slow starts for MIBR, but they're able to string some rounds back, and you know what? Sean brought up a great point. Not only did they lose pistol, but they also lost their bonus round. So when it comes down to those opportunities to really string it back in your favor when you have the gun advantage, you should be able to capitalize on those. Although we have seen that there's been a stronger gun buy for Cloud9 in these third round buys if they win the pistol.
True.
So this is going to be very interesting. We move over to Abyss though. That's going to be, some tape that's already been seen onto Cloud9 when they played against G2. So something that MIBR could pull up, maybe something that's new, but it's not. They're playing something very standard. Instead of an Omen though, playing an Astra, so you're losing a little bit of that extra flash, but still getting a lot into the pulse plant utility.
Exactly. We'll definitely see the double smoke side on Cloud9, but MIBR is going to choose to have that KO in, the Jet, Cypher, a little bit of that Sova as we expect to see, and the Astra. Interesting.
And interesting enough too, it should be easier for Cloud9. I'm going to put it out there right now because when you look at C9 digesting what happened against G2, they weren't familiar to play against a chamber. So now you want to brush things, you want to watch demos. Okay, there's been moments where we really haven't re-cleared middle the correct way, and we got punished for that. Now that they've isolated that and understood that, okay, well, maybe in these moments we could do that again, but now they're doing it against a more standard composition, something that they're used to playing against, which could really give them an advantage.
Oh, straight off the bat, it's going to be a hit towards the bottom of B here, right off a ramp. A trade back and forth leaves only one down for each team as they are searching for each other, and just this one extra smoke. Mitch on the side, it's going to be Naswar up high that able to trade that one back, and now a beaten and bloodied C9 are left with 2 to defend.
I love here that Cortesia is not continuing to push forward. It allows for them to just fight a 1v1, but even for C9, they don't care about front B. They want to trash him right away.
Oh, that's beautifully done there, but Net's able to find that quick trade for the teammate. The Ghost is there for Net. Usually alone on the lurk, knows this situation and how to create 1v1s, but is it going to be enough? There's one, the trade, almost a swing just under the chin of Aspas, and a miss as Aspas cleans up Net. MIBR get the pistol round.
They almost got the lineup too. I think he even got a chest shot with the Ghost.
Close.
It was going to be super close, especially that Aspas invested into a Ghost where a headshot probably would have taken out clean and give Net that Red Bull clutch. But I gotta say, the first time here that we see some miscoms coming out from Cloud9, I love the fact that they were pushing back and crunching from Ivy into the connector to try to take down that player right there, Cortezia. But then looks like the Silva just kind of broke out from that line a little bit too early, which allowed here Cortezia to get that pick onto Zeppa and give a chance here for MIBR to finally pick up a pistol round in this series.
Holy push from C9. Once again, we're going to get action out of them. I think we'll see this just about every time. Even on their fracture maps, if they didn't see anything, you saw them whipping across the ropes from the defensive side to find something. And they forgot the parachutes.
Got the orb at least.
All right, next round. They knew they were wrong, didn't want to waste it, didn't want to give orbs. We'll have buys coming out, some Guardians there on the side of MIBR, and guns across the board for C9 here on this bonus round.
All of them leaning towards this B site to start. It's actually quite interesting too, because you see a lot of these standard comps that leverage control towards the A side. Usually a lot easier to get recon dart, take control of the orb, and kind of work a default in that 1-3-1 right after on your attack side default. But MIBR are leaning towards B a lot here. Owl Jones still to start things off and potentially waste out the first wave of util as Mitch finally throws the knife out.
Nas were getting set up on some of those alt orbs here, so they make sure they have a good post plan on these. Nat have to go into ledge. It's just going to mess up his aim. Aspas takes advantage of that as the rest of MIBR starts to scale into the site very quick. So much more coordination here on just these two hits than what we saw in Lotus.
Agreed. And that's the beauty, too, of playing a composition like this for a brand new team. When you talk about the synergy just on paper of what you could do without thinking about the map, you already know the timing that the Kale Flash could throw, what Aspas could do on a dash to entry towards that side. It almost looks like an old school Aspas playing with Loud in their championship days, where he's going to be there, the tip of the spear really going in and finding good value with good util around him. So for MIBR to convert that pistol into a bonus and forcing C9 on a save, that's a night and day performance on what we just witnessed on Lotus.
And you're starting them off at 4-0-1, so Aspas' confidence through the roof as well. He knows there's a lot of utility behind him that can help, and with all the Shenum smokes, he's only having the angles he wants to look at when they enter these sites. Really heady stuff here from MIBR, and going from no bonuses to grabbing their first bonus right off the bat here in Abyss.
And again, it's just learning on what C9 has been doing here against G2, but Amy mentioned it during the interview at the halftime with Dan Dryad, where they already knew that what they were doing, it looked like on paper or when they were playing the game that they were being outclassed by G2, but after watching the tape, they're still pretty comfortable with the game plan that they have. So technically going into the map veto against MIBR, they won this, right? It should be an easy 2-0 for Cloud9. But MIBR, they're doing a great job finding those weaknesses very early and punishing these anchored plays towards Troll, where Net couldn't escape really because he's playing an Astra.
C9, we're going to be very quiet to start these off, fans. They know Aspas is ready to peek, ready to look out. We talked about what he can do to a server, right? He just makes you feel like you can't do anything you regularly do.
Yeah.
And we're getting to that point. We see C9 playing fully on the defense.
And he also used both of the rifles that they saved towards that same site where that stack is. So Mitch, so far, he's finding audio information. You can't really smoke towards that front for him because Vic is all the way out towards that B site. So for MIBR, dropping that smoke, and also, actually Net could help out. I forgot he was playing the Astra here in this map. But at least it's good information knowing that here MIBR are not re-hitting towards this A site, so they actually have a good read on the stack on B.
Themselves right into the majority of Cloud9. All these smokes to come out, the paranoia as well from Vic to slow down the hit. Vic starts on Aspas though. We expected that to be much different this round.
30 seconds
Big lurk.
left.
And now they're forced back. This lurk could be huge from Cortezia. He does take down Mitch, and now they have an opening on the map. An easy cross from side to side here. It's just how fast. Oh, they don't know about the push, actually. So they're being a little worried about this, as they should, but it'll all be clear space.
Exactly. Right now for Cortezia, staying on top middle, but there's only 13 seconds left. If there's still a star left for Net, and he could suck it off the spike. There it comes for that spike attempt, and it'll go down. There's no stars coming through from Net. So no shenanigans coming through.
Quick double trade, a swing there. Nice job by Zenom to use the structure around him, getting that easy frag out. And now it's just looking for Zeppa. It does have the Phantom, so look to save this in the end.
Save or do damage. You still are going to have max bonus into the next round.
They got money.
So you could go for a half shield buy if you want to, but he's going to choose the option of saving his rifle, which is also very fine in that moment. But to go back to that round, we want to see the importance of what Cortesia could do here on these lurks. Also, when we're looking at the first week of kickoff, you had an opportunity to speak here with Melau. Gustavo was saying, hey, Cortesia going from like what, a controller role to a sentinel role, back from the Brazilian scene into the Americas, and he has crispy shots. And now you have somebody with great aim that's able to find timings like he just did right there. You want to see more of that on the attack side of MIBR.
No more retake simulator. Cortesia creating these situations for the rest of the team. So now we're seeing him get into the mix. This is what we wanted from those last week games. 4 for MIBR now as we get onto this Abyss pick. And that's going to have an ult, but so will Naswer. They were focusing those orbs as they went towards that B side for Naswer as we saw it. So now they have a little bit more post-plan advantage.
Just util information at the beginning. Just trying to see if they could find out if C9's going to try to play aggressively as MIBR. So the knife comes out early, but you also see here for C9, they went into an operator. Half shield for Oxy, and he's locking down the B side solo. That hasn't been spotted yet by the Brazilian team.
Maybe they just give him a quick Cosmic Divide if he does start to get hit fast. They have the means to shut down and save his life, but it's going to be a B hit. MIBR is focused in the right site right now, and it's going to force everyone out. Vic just chilling by security, and a great scale by Aspas. It's been MIBR kind of out of position once these happen, but they have a lot of time. There should be no problem here.
It's going to be difficult to retake, though, because you have an operator for C9, and you also have a Hunter's Fury for Pulse Plant for Naswer, but he's actually using it to fight back.
Cosmic Divide's going to split a little bit just so they can get a hold of this chaos. Naswer does capitalize on one as Oxy tries to break the crosshair. Arsene still is going to find it. Nothing's going down. We see the pings happen. The trade's back into a smoke. MIBR is capitalizing so much, but wait a minute. Cloud9 with 2 as they're chasing. Now they're running. Blood in the water. And it looks like Aspas is going to go hunting.
Smart plays by Artezine, almost catching players off guard, trying to run back. Oh, still a nice shot, but they lost net in the process.
Save that operator for Oxy. They want it. Even though it kind of slowed them down on the retake, they feel like it's what can shut down MIBR as they go to hit these sites. The op gets saved. MIBR pick up round 5.
Really down for that anyways, to see Mitch also pull out and save an operator. And he also did that trade-off to allow Oxy to move inside that site, because Mitch has been good on operators on, you know, unorthodox agents like a Sage, for example, back in his early C9 days here in Valorant. So
he was the flexiest of flex players.
Exactly,
like, he played everything.
Exactly. So going into that one, though, for Cloud9, they still had a great idea of what they wanted to do towards that site. But MIBR, to be able to move into A and get a plant with barely any util used. They just walked in, they went for a recon towards that back, they realized that the site is clear, they went for a pop flash through the smoke in the pulse plant, and now everybody's trying to play the retake for Cloud9 when you're playing against a Hunter's Fury, where you can't tempo as quickly as you can, because you want to try to leverage the operator and hoping to punish MIBR on an overextension. They did so with the Hunter's Fury at least, so there is support around MIBR's game plan on how they want to play these pulse plants. So at least here you're looking at what Fraud said. The boxes you have to check here in the second map, they are definitely ticking them.
And it was a lot of teamwork too. 3 kills for everyone across the board. Aspas has 4. So everybody's getting in the mix. They're hitting their shots. This is what MIBR looks like when the team is on, when they're flowing and they're feeling these rounds, especially just after a loss they took on Lotus. Didn't matter to them. They reset in the break, and they come back strong here on Abyss.
100%. They've been there before, right? With these type of players around the veterancy of Aspas and Naswer and Fraud. I mean, even if you're looking at the performances from kickoff to the stages, they've always been towards the losing end. So for them, it's just always a learning experience on that side. And the learning is turned out quite well for the debut of 2 of these players around this roster. And okay, nice little pop flash coming out here.
Just making sure he knew where the ledge was and the updraft needed to happen. Quick save, no shot. They know the off is there, though, and that's going to be the power up, basically. It's going to be protected pretty heavily. Artsine goes down. Null Command still working pretty hard, just to the chest, through the smoke it would be, but it's no shot. Cortesia, Aspas coming to the site fast, but Cloud9 on top of it before it even happens. And now we get the Cortesia walk around just to get himself there.
Yeah, he's like, hey guys, I'm here. I could throw a hat for us, but then it's just him alone as his teammates were falling down. I mean, look at where these X's are. It looked like they're trying to fight as a team for MIBR, but they were not. I was actually scratching my head on Artizine just running alone with the null command. Yes, he's able to find information, but there was no util, no players swinging outside of that smoke for instant trades. So there was so much good value coming out from Oxy with the operator, with the crossfire setup. I think from Mitch, too, on the other side of that A site. Now, MIBR, I mean, off a timeout, that should have been something they could have kept moving forwards to. With all these rounds that they strung, the confidence they brought through, you could continue to try to disrespect C9 in their attempts here to come back in the game. And they'll start now with the first round.
3 for Oxy on the op. They put that over towards B. Yeah, you would think. You're like, hey, we flashed Oxy. Rush that site. Man's already repositioned, has assistance, ready to defend. Can't get much by the young one. See again, he was just flashed, updrafted, and got back behind the bridge. Zeppa on his right. And like you said, all those X's just in a line in the front. Almost looked like they had a crossfire, but really it was just the 1-2 in the back of A. Great job by C9. They pick up their first and a few ults to use here coming into round 7.
We had important ult for a retake or delay here out from Mitch.
Ospas reaching into the money pit as well. So 2 ops.
And I love this type of battle. Oxy, too, having an opportunity to fight against Ospas, jet on jet, in terms of this mirror match. He wants to prove here that he could triumph and take over as the best jet player here in the Americas.
You can see him pushing out of A right now. He's like, maybe I go a little further. He backed up towards the box. Somebody probably saying, Oxy, I see you on the mini-map. Don't go any further.
Advantage, though, is that Ospas still has his dash. They could leverage that, too, for that one-on-one where Oxy can't really escape. He's got Cloud Burst maybe to try to escape, and it's a 3-2-1 swing. Oh, and a collapse!
Through the knee of Artizine, into the face of Ospas. A double for Oxy as he pushes up to grab that main control. And now it leaves MIBR wondering. They lose basically everything that would get them into sight. And now they just have that Sova Dart to use from Noswer.
Well, Oxy has dash now, but they lost Zeppo at least. Now, again, great lurks coming out from Cortesia. Thankfully enough, it's maybe enough to break the map going into the re-hit into this B site. The walk for contact.
It's going to be the rotation from Oxy now. Really great save so far by MIBR. Can they keep it going, though, to repair this round? Cortesia with 1, peeks, and it's going to be just off time on Vic, too. That's 3 more now, Oxy. Full rotate, blades are out. There's 1 just to his left. Here's the shot actually from Astra as well. Shenum, or Shenum's going to go down. The ace from Oxy, just to the side. It's going to be the Oxy ace. Pulls out the round. The iBuyPower ace from Oxy, ladies and gentlemen.
Everything looks so good for MIBR in this post plant. The fact that they walked in, let the site open was Cloud9, and he took advantage of the pinch. The rookies coming in to isolate the players, to shoot them from behind, and suddenly Oxy comes in for the rescue.
I believe that is our first of the week, too. So iBuyPower is giving away a PC for the first ace of the week. After that, $100 Riot gift card and $100 in iBuyPower rewards for each one we see further for the week. And make sure you hit up iBuyPower on your socials. Hashtag unlock your ace, because Oxy just did.
And that's the fear that Oxy could instill. After that first kill, you're seeing that Shenum was just running back for his life so that at least they could play the crossfire setup. But Oxy did a great job just finding all those timings. MIBR this round, though, looks like they don't want to build up or allow C9 to build up in that on that height. A fast hit towards B.
Oh my gosh. Just Ospas tunneling down onto Oxy there. They finally get the 2, and yeah, C9's going to have to wait for the scatter here. Or Mitch, in sight, alone, trying to do things as we see. Zeppa's there, but he can't help. Oh, the creep down. He uses the audio for the drop just to hide it. Still can't find anything as they mill about and try to get another position for the site. It's going to be Mitch almost with 1, but the trade back from Cortesia. They're still going in. Vic chooses the shorty, but goes back as Zeppa also picks up a frag. It's going to be Shenum. Now he has to get to the side, just on the ledge. The defuse isn't there. Faking it back and forth, the spin. Vic gives him his back. He's firing too high. Fires to the left, but Shenum's able to grab it. Get that 9th round. Beautiful job. Or get the 6th for them, I should say.
That was a round that was almost converted by C9 when they're at a disadvantage. That time it was a 5 versus 3 for MIBR, and you saw this super nice paranoia coming out here from Vic. Yes, it allowed for them to come in and swarm through and get a couple of picks. but not enough of a buddy system to thwart that double swing out from the window for MIBR on the Pulse plant.
Are we going to have Aspas go wild this round, fans? It might be.
He's got Blade Storm and only a shorty. Already pops him in. The drone's going to try to clear the way for him to move in.
Spike's actually coming here a little bit late. They still can wait for it. And it's just going to be one, so it looks like C9 will have the retake on this. Aspas will get all the room that he wants, but he's been pushing up and scaling, causing a lot of problems for C9's retake.
So far, at least, the TP that we see from Vic doesn't allow MIBR to get forward space on top of Heaven. So all they want to do is stall, which is great. MIBR did try to press forward just like this as Artazine almost got punished. And now all of C9 can group up for a flood retake.
The amount of info he just grabbed is huge, but Cloud9's hit could be bigger here. Nice damage to start from Aspas. Hunter's Fury is going to cause a bit of chaos right up the gut in the site as Oxy starts to open it up. Nazra, quick trade back. Everything, a patience, a moment to breathe, but Oxy keeps it going. Not a time to blink, not a moment to move. As Shenum now tries to trade it back with Cortesia. It just leaves Zeppa. Clutches happen every day for this guy, but MIBR has been on point in these post plants. A quick star will deter the defuse, and now Zeppa has to go searching. He almost gets the last one, but Shenum comes up big again. The rookies are firing for MIBR.
And that's why Artazine staying alive was super important. Yes, he almost got caught towards Ivy, but where he falls back when he found all of that information is towards that side where they planted that spike. So yes, there was a paranoia once again that hit both of them from Vic onto MIBR, but he throws a pop flash towards the air. Doesn't give a chance for C9 to get the best value around their Hunter's Fury. And that small piece of util once again allows for MIBR to play that delay and win at least due to time and force C9 to make mistakes.
Crazy stuff here from MIBR. Really great adjustments on each round to make sure they can thwart C9, who are going to be pushing a bit this time, fans.
Yeah, it makes sense. Eco round for Cloud9. Guardian for Oxy trying to trade it off.
Okay. Quick trade from Zeppa. Maybe able to grab something off of that. And it's just a plant into B for right now. So the regroup from C9 here. And the flank watch from Shenum.
That's where it's important. He's going to have 4 players crunching him on him and not giving a chance here for Cloud9 to allow Noswar to play the pulse plant in front B.
Cloud9's lower by rounds. They've always been trouble in their opponent's side, or thorn in their side. Can it be this time again? Artazine says no, even after one trade on the flank there. Oh, sees that. Nazra not faked out in the situation, and a quick shot from Aspas is C9. We would figure they go down on that round, but MIBR do it in pretty clean fashion.
Again, Prod mentioned it. How do you react rather on the reads that you get? So Artazine and actually Cortesia at the very beginning to start things off, got picked off, got information that there was at least 3 players in his point of view, so that there was going to be a flank no matter what. So Shenum, he holds the staircase. He trusts here that Noswar could watch the front, which he did. Got a double kill out of that, as you just saw. So they react quite well. Communication's very good. And MIBR are really crushing here on this map of Abyss.
They really want that operator back in play too. Pushing towards A, start things off as the spike is just roaming mid.
Yeah, just trying to hold it back for a bit too. Door is not being broken, but it's actually being pinged out. So just potentially saying, watch out. They could maybe go for a pinch around here. Maybe they heard the door break early at the beginning of the round as well. Because you did have players inserted in the very beginning here from this Shenum push with Artazine. Now back to a 4-1 in that mid-round. Cortesia is still trying to activate on a late lurk.
MIBR, they've been liking kind of wasting that first 40 seconds of the round. Knowing C9's moved a little bit, it's enough for them to feel like they have some control here. And they hit the site during that movement. Quick Hunter's Fury comes in. A lot of pings are going down, but nobody can capitalize just yet. MIBR does find shots towards the back of the site, and C9 just gets obliterated to start things off.
And while all this happens, Cortesia is inserted on top mid. He's cutting the rotates. It's so simple, at least from the point of view as we see all 10 players. But it's working according to plan. What they drew up here for MIBR in this default composition, the bench comp on Abyss. But they're lining up the stage so far with how clean it looks.
It's for sure comfort as well for these players. You see coming in.
100%.
I mean, Cortezia feels so comfortable, it seems, on these rotations, just getting the flanks in control.
Stay down.
And getting that information to the team. Hello.
Knife to knife.
Tries to give him a loper dart to confuse him, but Shenum's not being confused. Not right now.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing so well.
You're not playing Teo, so that's not going to do any damage if it actually lands on him. But yes, it's super clean, as you just mentioned, Riv, for MIBR. This is 4 rounds in a row, stringing 5 rounds at the very beginning, too. And it took, what, a timeout out from Imi to allow Cloud9 to at least get 2 rounds.
Nice!
But they'll have a chance very soon here to play their own attack side, to manipulate the map themselves.
And the doubters, they can look at the top of the scoreboard there for the side of MIBR. Cortezia and Shenum topping the list there. Quite a few frags over the rest of their teammate. And Cortezia's going to do it again on Oxy. A huge start off on the round for that first blood.
Yeah, I think Nosware just went for a recon dart off the pop flash play from C9, and it was just an easy kill as Oxy was trying to find a surprise play.
All right, final round of our first half here. And already they start 5v4 trying to convert this one with a beautiful shot from the Cypher.
Man. That's a green light go for sure.
Yep. Oh, jump over. Insight is easy. Now, Cortezia is in between just about everybody. How much damage can he do? And Net's going to say, not this time.
Yeah, a little bit of exposure at this point, but you still have other players inserted for MIBR. Look at this crossbar that they'll potentially have here towards Z.
Standing ahead.
Quick dart out, they leave tower. It's just kind of a fight for the high ground right now as they're trying to get back into sight. Spike already planted, obviously, so C9's got to do some work here. Ospas and the rest of the team just start getting frags left and right as that's a 3K for Ospas. And the first half, 10-2 in favor of MIBR.
I got to give it to MIBR here on that half. A lot more confident in their post plans. They were definitely more assertive, especially around their Hunter's Fury. That was out for Nosware, getting so much value in terms of information and pings. Sometimes even kills, as we saw on Vic. But the post plan that they have here, the game plan that MIBR has on that attack side was definitely not to play post plan, to play the suck delay, and to play the mollies, to play the util. They just want to fight back against Cloud9. We talked about that disrespect, and they gave it.
Well, we're going to be right back quick, just like that first half, to see if MIBR can bring us to a map 3. We are back for the second half and to see if MIBR can bring us all the way to Pearl. Are they shiny enough to keep this momentum in the second half? We'll find out.
So far, yeah. So far, yeah. So we'll have to see. I talked about this should have been C9's easy 2-0, but MIBR definitely had something to say. So MIBR showing a very strong attack side. C9 could also very much do the same, as their difference in comps also made it difficult for Cloud9 to play a stronger defensive side because of the double controller. But this might be a chance for them to bring it back.
All right, everybody, thanks for sticking with us. We are back on to the map, and we're about to see if C9 can grab themselves the pistol back from MIBR.
Interesting round here. You do have a buy from Net onto Oxy. So Oxy's going with the Raid Boss and Shield, and Net only has 2 stars. So that maybe could be good in terms of smoke execs to play towards that site, but the delay that we talked about in the post play that Net was doing so often for G2 is not going to happen there.
Yeah, as 2 stars are to use, you can see one of the Astras just a one-way at the back of sight. Ben's going to be a bit of a fight here for Oxy as he gets another one, but traded by Ospas. Almost tries to get the dash shot on here. A little tower action coming from MIBR, and Shenum and Osboss with a great little teamwork play there. Okay. The mechanics that we talk about from Osboss, just getting a bit of vision on site there, so they have the upper hand. Cortezia steps back, waits for the team to drop, and then he'll make his move. Oh, slow and quiet. They're just creeping around. All shift buttons are held right now as nobody really knows what's going on until they peek. It's just left up to Net. Trying to stop that defuse. Cortezia is going to be, Cortezia now pulled off.
He's got it.
Half, there's too much time, not even half yet. It's going to be shots from Nat. A beautiful job on the Astra to make sure the round goes to C9, and they do get that pistol.
And that's the other thing, too. The reason why he doesn't want to go for that third smoke with a ghost, potentially, when you usually have a solo Astra in your composition, is because he could also leverage Vic into these smokes, into the one-ways you mentioned before, that doesn't allow here MIBR to fight back in that spot. But this is still something that we've seen before, that they like to go for these pop flash fights on the top of heaven for Cloud9. And there was a good read for MIBR. They had a triple swing to fight back against that, but somehow you had Oxy head on a swivel to get that second kill. 14 and 11, still on the top of the scoreboard in the second map for C9. And it was good enough here for Net to clutch that 1v2 and get that Red Bull clutch for Cloud9.
Oh dear. Lots of info on this. Osboss will always take that. Good for a shot, but it just goes wide as there is too many to choose from. And now they just hang out as they get a quick orb grab onto Oxy to make sure those blades can be effective in a few rounds.
And while the other two, the double controllers, are just holding back, trying to listen for some noise, listen for some sound. It started off here with an aggression out from MIBR, then nothing left. So you would probably think at this point, because they're on an eco for MIBR, that they're going to start grouping up and gamble into a spot. And it's B. So just cut noise, go back to the re-hit. It's a great read now for Cloud9.
And Net's going to sell it even more. This is going to be perfect. Few shots here, he sees the rest of the team, he says, guys, guess what? You are free to take A, and you see how leisurely now Cloud9 is going to go ahead and set up in sight. Still a pretty decent retake to come through with what we've seen from MIBR. Yep. Gotta be careful. There's a frag right there, but now they've traded sides of the site. It's all just up to this choke point. No smokes coming in for either side. Actually, yeah, Senum doesn't have any stars.
Confirmed at least now with the Aldro that nobody's flanking, so the delay util, they still have 2 shock darts to work with, and sprays with the rifles for Cloud9.
He just got a star back, able to use it, fakes the defuse to see if they can pull Cloud9 out of the woodwork. Osboss with 1, double shock dart inside the smoke, delays for just another second, and this is the game that C9 has been playing to grab their rounds, drain the clock, and take out as many members as possible.
And Osboss is just hoping to get one with him before he dies to the spike. But that looks to be not as clean as we wanted to for Cloud9. It started off well, though. Net did a great job opening up this B side right here with his first pick. Not only that, he also baited out the camera and the recon dart to say, hey, look at me, I'm selling a fake here, and it worked. And then C9 were just able to play an easy take towards that B site, but the post plant, the shares are still really good here for MIBR. They still are continuing with the confidence that they built here on this first half.
They're gonna focus for Oxy here. Looks like they might try to, okay, she's got a weapon. I don't know, it's like 2 orbs? It'd be tough to get both of those, but they do go for the buy. Looks like it might be A again.
He has stars on both ends too. One just to counteract here on the attack side on Cloud9 in case it was this early fight coming out from MIBR.
No capes. That's why we don't have capes. All right.
Yeah, that is so annoying. Seeing that come out of Vic all the time. It's just like...
He's like, woo.
Somebody's using old school ESP.
Yeah. Over to the left side. So they're trying to just default the map. It looks like the spike still wants to go here. Vic doesn't have ult, so we do see a probable end at A.
Get out of my way.
But this position that you have forward by Osboss.
Does get a trade through. They're trying to sell the fake again. So it's the same round, but with more fake. Just on the left side of the map. They get it for now, but I don't think MIBR is fully bought into this one, so they're ready to defend.
Exactly. It's less numbers towards the hit on the A site.
Oh, the shots come through. Net says bye-bye. Sit down to both MIBR members on site.
Well, let's scratch that, right? Now we still have Aldron on the post plant. The double shock that brought a lot of value for Zeppa. And of course, Net doing what he does best, staying behind and making sure that he's the last line to secure the round with the gravity well ready here on this Astra.
Not even a connection there. They're able to back off just enough. Net can get that easy long shot as they swing out to try and get... Yep, ease. What a trade. Picture perfect there. And they can rinse and repeat as the members keep coming in.
And it's just the little things into how Cloud9 actually took advantage of that A side. And I talked about how they were able to learn from their mistakes of not used to playing against a chamber, for example, right?
Right.
This position you have from Aspas all the way up was something that Leaf did for 3 or 4 rounds, trying to take advantage of a chamber op right at that spot by jumping across and then TPing back.
Yeah.
So now that you have C9 scaling back in these corners, it's like, okay, well, we're going to go for a face check because we don't want to let people know that we are trying to hit the A site. You want to try to still add that surprise element.
Let's just say they didn't buy for the fake, but Terminator was here.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. They didn't buy for that fake, but they still cleared that corner. They made sure that that corner was cleared, walking back into the A main. So again, a great job for C9 and showing the amount of work that comes through from this team. It's been talked about before in other interviews where Imi was saying that he loves a team that has come together here for Cloud9 going into this kickoff. It is a team that, yes, it's fairly new, but it's a team that's super hungry to get some instant results. So when you have these moments where they're getting thrashed by G2, for example, some players want feedback, the one-on-ones to talk with Imi, to try to figure out how they can min-max based on what they've drawn up in the very beginning in the strat book, and it shows here. Just a small thing here that allows for them to be a little bit more perfect on a map like Abyss.
And was talking to Zeppa in the interview last week. He said he believes this is the team around him that they feel like they can really work with, work forward. He called it the Three Stooges, and him, Mitch, and Oxy kind of doing stuff around the map, just being goons as they can get their frags in and just do whatever as Oxy goes hard. So they are definitely having fun, but MIBR has found their stride, and you gotta say they're having fun too. Seeing the rookies fragging so well, getting that vibe on, they look night and day from their first match here, and very much like we could get a third map from them.
And that's what you want. You're seeing a lot of these star duelists going into more supportive roles, the Heat, MW0, the even 10s into the last season. So to see rookies already go in these roles when they have heavy firepower to support a star player like Aspas, they're looking pretty good here for MIBR in the second map.
Vision up and over, such a tough spot to defend from if that jet is on the box. Oscar's gonna take position, headshot through the box, but he's traded by Aspas. A quick back and forth as Vic finds the trade. And now they're gonna get quick defuse, the help from Vic. And already that flank is watched by Net here as MIBR set up for the Sheriff Classic retake.
Yeah, exactly. Even though it's an anti-eco, just how clean Oxy was in the micro adjustments to win that 1v1 against Aspas and a tap through the box to get the headshot.
Cortezia.
Pop flash, beautiful.
Oh, you better buy him dinner for that one. A few more from C9 here as they're obviously going to be able to take down the MIBR members in this round. Looks good. So this may have not been the timeout that MIBR kind of spoke about. That could be for the next round when they get guns, right? It's like, hey, we're going to have this low buy, do the damage you can, and when we get guns, we're going to focus on this. So we'll see if the timeout comes into play here as we hit the next round.
Especially when you move into a round where Shenum, after that death, is going to have the Astral Wall to be able to play the retake. Aspas has Blade Storm if they need to actually buy a weapon for somebody else if they don't have enough of that economy.
Ooh.
I mean, I was going to say the pop flash was really nice to blind up two players, but you got 4 players playing Pulse Plan at that point for Cloud9. 2 of them didn't get blinded. So not the best value in the end here for Cortezia, but I like the attempt.
Aspas, another op. He's just trying to get these opening kills as well to slow down C9's pressure. Maybe that was the idea, is to play this safe and see if Aspas can start get going.
Aspas. Just covering up towards this main, and they actually double it up too. So this is a huge risk, right? You're playing this one and done in this position for Shenum. You're trying to play the bait from Aspas, but just leaving those players anchored there doesn't allow for them to support here towards this B site.
Beautiful flash. As you can see, Cortezia could see nothing as they came in. A quick trade from the teammate, though. That's all they get for now. C9 an easy plant and a setup here. The speed they've been hitting the sites, I think, is what MIBR is trying to stop, but it just is not happening.
And the Astral Wall maybe could give an opportunity for Shenum to even play behind the wall if they want to start using it, but that clock has been taken down on that spike. Not too sure if that's going to be the play. Well, there he goes. It starts.
Nobody expects it's hardly a place anybody plays, but Zepp was still there for one. They know the op is there for Ospas, so they're just going to play behind walls here. Pick a quick trade. Yeah, Ospas forced to come out now, forced to do a little walk around here and help Shenum, but they are getting routed right now. Vic is about to have the back shot. Oh my gosh. What is, they're dancing around each other. Vic's going to go ahead and sacrifice himself for the play. Ospas gets out with the op, though. But another round for C9. They do lose everyone, but it's still another round.
That was still a nice play, though, by Cloud9. They just stayed within the site. They didn't necessarily overextend to try to fight back towards the Heaven side. They just played towards the Ivy, where there was no pressure coming back from MIBR at the very beginning. So many of them were funneled towards that top because they wanted to protect the VIP, being Ospas with the operator. But as soon as they fall, when they couldn't win that first fight, when Noswork dropped down, then it's so hard for you to retake with an operator on a 2v2. You just keep Net alive towards the Ivy. He throws a suck, there's no defuse, and that's it. Trap play attempt, maybe aggression.
They're trying to push out. You can see right there in mid, yeah, from MIBR. Looking to capitalize on something. They've dropped the op to Shenum here when Ospas has the Blade Storm, so interesting to see the choice there. He has been fragging. Let's see what he can do with the sniper. Ooh, they kind of bite into this. Oxy's going to get one. These blades for Ospas are going to strike true. You better believe that, and he already gets one. They don't want to figure out what else is mid, though.
And it could allow Ospas to pick up a weapon as C9 gives up that space. So that's a Phantom now picked up. And the operator is still locking down towards that B site while you have Star. So they have stall for MIBR as well.
Great control with Ospas moving up. They know this hit's going to be here. Quick Hunter's Fury. Just misses to the side. It's a bit of a flank as they trade kills across the map here. Mitch is going to be able to plant the 3v3 now.
Flip it.
Slowly stopping. They don't feel safe in this situation, and that always feels weird. They know the spike's going down backside. They don't know about Ospas yet.
No!
Yeah. Right on.
That wasn't a pistol round, but it's okay.
Noswork kills Net off the drop. Still
That's no suck as well here.
Just the Sheriff for Noswork. Jump peek, patience. Perfect pull in here. Great high-low to play. Almost is able to capitalize on the 1v1s, but Vic comes up with the last frag again to get around for C9.
And you could definitely feel the suspense going through in that one. In those moments where MIBR only have pistols and sheriffs to work with, they still have great firepower. If you look at these regions, in Brazil, in Turkey, they have tremendous firepower coming out from these regions as well, which is why, oh, that's unfortunate. Which is why, though, you're looking on that end, you have to credit teams like MIBR finding and trying to bring up tier 2 players into their main comps, into their main rosters. But as we continued to praise earlier on MIBR's performances on their attack side, this has all been flawless by Cloud9 so far on their attack side.
Quick cross the map check here from Vic. As they're going to stick A, but look at Oxy. He is inserted way deep into mid here. Nobody knows.
Helvier rotates too, potentially in spawn.
He's going to be able to stop all of that. The team feels comfortable to get into the front of the site as Oxy takes down Arnesine on the top of tower. Spike's down for now, but Vic already makes the leap to the top of box, and they capitalize on the site here. Man, Oxy is so far through, they have to wonder how far MBR does. They can get back to the site without seeing him.
And that's Oxy giving a little bit of a taste of MIBR's own medicine.
Yeah.
As he's the one pushing up towards middle, that usually the lurker as a sentinel, as Cortezia did. But him with a dash, able to get even more space towards that spawn and catching players off guard. It doesn't give a chance for Ospas to get value out of that operator. So early round, going into towards the end, C9 did a great job avoiding the operator from Ospas, who has been hot. You mentioned it before here, going to the second map.
Feeling very good here. And they do a good job to do it too. I mean, you take Oxy and you slow walk him up mid. I think MIBR has been alerted the whole time to a site hit being Oxy dashing in. So like, oh no, he hasn't dashed in here. Oh no, he's mid. So very big change up here from the way C9 approached the round to possibly avoid that off. Not show a strong hit, but be silent until they were ready to attack. And that was Oxy's move through mid. So neat stuff as they switch up the strategy this late in the game.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a wrench in the wheels for sure when you think, as an IGL, coming out from a timeout a little while ago, that you're starting to understand the read a little bit more of how C9's executing here in these rounds, but then suddenly you have that, boom, push up towards middle here from Moxie. So now the second timeout from MIBR.
Interesting, and C9 was able to capitalize on one of these as well last time. So Emmy using this time very effectively to get through into what the team needs to do.
And I think from this timeout, it's just trying to see how for Osbos they could really leverage the operator. As yes, you're having him here towards these extremities from the very beginning, except for that round where he actually gave the operator to somebody else so he can play the blades for him.
To shut him, yep.
And that's C9 doing a good job avoiding these extremities and focusing potentially a little bit more onto not necessarily mid control, but at least inserting players in that spot. So there is an opportunity here for MIBR to maybe push a little bit more in these occasions to try to thwart here C9's setup.
Yeah, and when we get back into game, I mean, just look at that scoreboard across the top there. Cloud9 on the second half has just been punishing towards MIBR.
Something that we've seen on Abyss as well, right? Especially when we go towards these more default comps, it's been much more explosive on the attack sides. And Pulse Plant's usually really good for stalls with the Astra, but with these two teams playing within the sites, crossfire setups within the sites, they've actually been quite clean as well.
Ooh, the push. Even in the KO knife.
Okay.
Oh, blocked it.
Still got a kill, though, at least with the Hunter's Fury.
Yes.
So off the timeout was actually just to play around the operator and the Hunter's Fury while they have, you know, whatever buy they could muster. Cortesia with the Guardian, but at least they find value for MIBR at the start.
0 point, locking in pretty well there for the side of MIBR to let them know they are at the right site. They're watching the right, but here actually comes the paranoia. Oxy gets taken down by the fragment grenade.
That was from back A, so they read that as well in terms of the hit that Cloud9's trying to do. A pop flash play into A heaven rather again gets thwarted, and that's a nice cam. So all these adjustments off the timeout, that was probably a lot of information being said here by Fraud in the very beginning, but well downloaded by MIBR in the server.
And MIBR have chosen to kind of give up this mid area again, but use util to re-clear it. They're happy to guard the sites with the members they have and let mid be taken as long as they can still get an idea of what's there.
30 seconds left.
Won't come into play anymore, and that was pushed up quite far, but now back on the flank is C9 looks to get into this B site. Beautiful shots by Shannon. Almost another one as he identifies Nat, just looking over, and it's gonna be Cortesia from the top of tower, taking down Nat, and a nice round by MIBR as they kind of get a timeout back into resetting the team.
That's how you get value off the operator from Ospas. How do you get the best out of it? Just pushing him forward to support through the Hunter's Fury.
Yeah.
Despite him, you know, getting blocked by a beam, it's still allowed here and funneled the players over into all the rest of the util that MIBR has set up. So it looks like they have found. I mean, it took a bit of rounds here for Fraud. It took, what, 7 rounds in a row coming out from C9 for him to realize how they could actually counter these this Cloud9 play.
Man, they love to butt heads here at A.
And he will. Coming out with first blood is Osbos too.
So quick. I think Mitch went down first to last time as well. So they can't really use the knife identification here. They have to make sure Zeppa's in place for when they hit it. But it is a bit of rinse and repeat here as Net goes for the push again.
That's it. Instead of a camera this time around, it's a trip. So now they still have passive information.
Exactly.
They want to give up this middle. So when I thought in a timeout they wanted to fight middle more, it's more reactionary. So the trip breaks, they pull out the L drone, they see a little bit of information here and there, but there's still a minute left on the clock. Still a lot of map in Valorant to be played this round.
I feel like C9 is playing, if you do good over there, we'll go that way. They're so spread out right now. Obviously they have a plan, but a lot of 1v1s can be created in this situation. They're trying to catch MIBR off guard, but credit to MIBR. They're playing really smart. Boom.
And that's the thing, the Hat's going to get a lot of info too. A 1v1 towards the B main, and Vic gets 2 nice kills though.
Really quick snap there to make sure he gets 2. The rest of the team says we are all over this site. Every entry is Cloud9's as they take B. But it is a 3v3, and Vic is hurt.
I was just about to mention too with, yes, they're trying to avoid the operator, but with the position that they had for Cloud9, it was so difficult for MIBR to rotate across.
They're clearing everything.
Yeah, they still tried to push forward, got a couple of trades, but Vic had the hero play. Gives a chance now for Cloud9 to play the Pulse Plant.
Give me orbs, says Aspas.
4 stars in the front of B.
Yeah.
Just everything's unloaded in the front.
Oh, and the paranoia. Can't find anything. Knives over their shoulders. Oxy's just trying to sell him something here. A triple kill for Oxy as they pick up another round and are within 1 of tying the game now.
It was important. I mean, this is a, second time that they have an attempt to fight back in the front of B, placing the Astro Stars in the front, where they're just, yes, unloading a lot of things, but none of the players from Cloud9 are actually playing there. Out in the window, further back towards the spawn. This should have been something, too, that they could have identified before from Net. He loves to play so far back in these moments where he's going to be the last man standing or potentially the, the silver lining, the life vest here for C9 in these moments where maybe they lose all these players in the process of the retake. But Cloud9 now, they've closed the gap, narrowed the gap down by 1 round against MIBR, who in their round now has to play the early info game. Already, the Owl Drone was burnt out while they have Aspas inserted. They saw nothing, so it's a good read here at least that they know the hit from Cloud9 is towards B.
Full retake positioning for MIBR. Let's see how adjusted C9 can get to site here. Aspas waiting to come around with the operator until they get that spike confirmation. He doesn't believe that a first hit is a real hit from Cloud9, and why would you after these maps? A beautiful flash from Arcene as they get a quick trade back. Null Command still there. Around in sight though for now. Spike has not been planted yet, and it's not even towards sight.
He's down and can get info, but Oxy somehow still gets the kill.
Still trying to battle back and forth here. Spike is dropped. It's just going to be for the frags, it seems, this round. Aspas is going to be coming around, and he might just get an idea of where Net is before Net knows.
If anything, though, if he moves towards that window, he'll never see the spike, so this could be an opportunity. Oh, he makes noise.
Yeah, wait.
Free kill. It's a free kill.
Easy. Yeah. There's too much movement for MIBR. Beautiful job to get around the map knowing they have this time, but Nasra going down makes things a bit trickier here. A quick push to the back, 13 seconds on the round. All they have to do is live on the side of MIBR.
The suck now, it's a concuss instead, but he's able to stick it.
Shenum coming around, it should be enough, and he cannot stay alive. Shenum with another one of the round-ending frags to get MIBR in game point.
What a nice attempt, though, by Vic to TP to grab that spike. But overall for MIBR, I was questioning a little bit what Artezine was doing with the null command and not playing, the flood retake with that null command. But it turned out to be actually quite good because in those moments where they were playing on the defensive side or on the Pulse Plant side, when C9 was trying to flood back, what was important? The KO flash that throws up at this very spot right here where Oxy gets the pick onto Cortesia. So getting that null command up doesn't allow here for C9 to counter back with util, so you could actually come in and take the advantage and get the trade and allow Aspas to get the lurk from behind. So I like it towards the end. Because Aspas looked like he was way too far to be able to play that retake no matter what.
Exactly. Wild. And then you're like, oh wait, he's here. Okay.
Yep.
Just at the right time. And it seems like that's when MIBR has really been able to fix. Honestly, they've been taking so many punches this round. So it comes up in round 20 when they can find one. And then 22. This was almost C9 making a full sweep on the second half of the map. And yeah, those last few timeouts coming in from MIBR have very much paid off. 3 seconds till we out of this one from Imi, and he's going to try to get the team sorted. We've seen a lot of A hits and then B hits. C9 have just recently started working mid. We'll see if they keep pressuring that.
Yeah, at least to start, you see behind the barrier, potentially just trying to maximize Oxy in the mid spot. And for MIBR, nothing's really changed. You potentially see the setup for the pop flash so that Aspas could once again take that line. What's really going to stop him in his tracks is potentially just a knife out from Mitch and allow for them to get early information. Unless he wants to avoid it in the very beginning, and he'll do so. Now starts walking up.
Seeing one, still wants the shot. Nice pop flash from the back of sight there from Arcene, but it only catches Net to jump out of the way.
It's a battle of attrition. Both KOs threw a knife Aspas still maintains that line. Yes, he doesn't have dash anymore, but actually looks like they're deciding to give it up because he hear the owl drone towards middle.
Oxy's still going to move up with that, knowing it was shot from the right side, but the smoke coverage is fantastic here. This trip is no longer on. They've pinged in. That's going to be the drone, though. Just in time is MIBR to stop a tragedy.
Oxy's just going to keep holding that line, but lose Vitch in the process.
What a look. What a shot. And Aspas shuts down Oxy. A 5v3 now as Cloud9 is wondering where they can end here without their sight hit.
Thankfully, it's still 2 controllers up for Cloud9. They could smoke up everything and try to work as a group. Paranoia is still available as well.
Straight out of the smoke without too much util. It's what they have to do at this point. Jump forward with the shorty as Vic is just taken down to 46. The rest for Aspas is up. And that is the map for MIBR. We're going to be seeing Pearl come up between these two teams. The elimination match is going all 3.
What a good second map coming out from MIBR. It looked like at some point Cloud9 was going to be able to claw back in this game.
Serious.
But it was almost the same scenario when they played against 100 Thieves. At those moments when you are already leading 10-2 at the half, if you're still making small mistakes here and there, you still have so much cushion to work with. So MIBR did a great job leveraging the late timeouts from both Fraud and leveraging even Imi's timeouts to be able to capitalize and squeak through and force this to a third map.
Wild stuff. We're seeing Cortezia come online, Shenum come online now. Those B-site guards from Shenum, absolutely huge. A lot of round-ending kills from him. Stuff we did not expect to see coming from the MIBR rookies, especially after their game 1, but they have absolutely come online. They've shaken off the nerves, and they are ready to make this elimination match not be their last. It looks like we will be taking a quick break, but stick with us because we are diving into Pearl next to see who will be going home and who will be going on.